You are listening to an Atomic Broadcasting production, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the feature presentation. And remember, do your part, such as like, comment, rate, and don't forget to tell a friend to tune in for an Atomic Time.
Where did we leave off? Ah, yes. Our group assembled in Town Grove in order to set out for the mining town of Copperberget. Due to a late arrival and a delayed start, they were forced to make camp halfway through the journey. As night fell, our party broke into watches, and most of them went to bed. As the night went on, Hymir's watch was disturbed as he heard a noise from the supplies.
I can't wake up! I can't wake up and save me from...
It is now time for ASMR Squishy Toys.
Oh yeah.
It's just silent.
Yeah, it's like it's just going. It's rubbing.
Gotta get some snaps in there, yeah.
And welcome back to episode 2, everybody.
I don't even have my headphones on!
That could be the...
Jacob, are we recording now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2.
Woo!
Yeah.
It is time for us to proceed with our adventure. As we established at the end of the last episode, Hymir was taking the 4th watch of the night, and a crate had just tumbled out of the wagon and shattered on the ground. Hymir, what do you do?
I'm gonna hop up, and my chains are gonna like loosen up around my arm a bit, and then I'll wake the others up, I guess.
Gotcha. So as you move, well, let me just give you a little sense of the scope of things here. We're gonna go to the map. Oh wait, hold on. That's the wrong map.
That's not where we are.
That's
We
the
have
right
train
map.
tracks.
I'm
with
sad
our
I wasn't
cab.
looking. Can I see that again?
No.
Check it.
Why? I don't understand.
I lost
I'm a train.
Oh
of
wait,
thought.
I know what's going on.
I like,
I like
trains.
There.
Okay.
Dolvin
Yes,
was
yes,
invisible,
you
so
do.
he couldn't see
Okay,
anything.
Gotcha. All right. So I hear the noise, and I'm gonna loosen up those chains a bit, and I'm gonna start moving towards the box to see what
Loosen
happens.
what tent?
It doesn't matter.
It does.
All right.
It's not.
It does.
So I'm going to say, just for the sake of brevity, it would take one move action to get up to those boxes. As you're walking over, you're kind of hearing like rummaging around noises in the wagon, and something like thuds on the ground outside of your sight behind the crates. And you're going to walk all the way up, or do you want to kind
I'm
of
gonna
go
start
halfway?
moving up, and it sounds kind of like an animal. So I think, trying to think, I might just like stomp my foot and yell "hey," like to try and just scare it off. I think that sounds good. So yeah, Hymir's gonna start walking towards it. His chain's ready if he needs it, but he's just gonna kind of jump forward a bit towards the noise and just yell "hey" to try and like scare thinking it's a little animal,
Okay.
just to try and make it scare and run away.
So you do that, and you're like, you stomp and yell, hey, and then like the scuffling kind of stops. And then there's just like this low, like,
Okay. Also
Nice.
hoping that the hay woke up the others in case there's trouble.
perception checks.
We're unconscious, so it's a perception check with a -4.
That's correct.
So you should
Well.
speak into your mic.
There.
I was hoping Jordy
Gets a 20. That's with a -4? Yeah.
Nice.
I have +5. Oh. Oh, man, I forgot what...
Wait, did you say 1 or 20?
I said 20.
That's what I thought you said.
I have a +5, so with a -4, it's a +1.
Rolling like you did in the replay.
15.
Abby?
Still Abby.
Abby?
Abby rolled a 4.
Oh, with a -4, or is that
Without the
final?
-4. 4 on the die, man.
Oh,
What's your perception bonus?
+4.
So a 4.
Is that with or without the -4?
Without.
and petite.
It would be 18 with all the math done.
So the three of you wake up. Neros is just out.
She's out, man.
So we're going to go ahead at this point and roll initiative. Except Those of you who are rolling to wake up, that's your initiative roll, because it's the same thing. So you're rolling initiative with a -4, because in this system we use perception to roll initiative.
As a base.
Yes, we can use other things
So-
if it would work.
Neros is still asleep.
Natural 20 on mine.
Nice.
So I got a 26. Yeah, I got a natural 20, so 26 on initiative for Hymir.
26 for Hymir.
Zephyr has
Neros is going to be at a 4. If something happens that would certainly wake her up before that happens, then she can be awake on her turn.
Okay.
Zephyr.
11.
And let's see. Uver, you said 20 was your total.
That is correct. It was a 19 on the die.
And where did... Oh, there's Alward.
Howard got a 15.
Thank you. I forgot Alward has his own tent on the map. Off by itself.
Where?
Over there. So on the south
tells
side
me
of the camp
nothing.
is where all the hired hands are sleeping. And Alward is over on the north side with the important people.
Am I? Oh, I didn't know if I was in the way.
So they're about, what,
I mean, you
30
are,
feet
but
away
that's
from
fine.
each other? Just the workers in Alward's camp? Or is
Yeah,
that a lot more
just
than
about.
30?
Yeah, it's like 50 feet across the
Oh,
camp.
wow. Okay.
They've got space.
In a
The
sense.
final
All
I
right.
don't
frontier.
want to be near anybody.
All right, so we're going to start off with Hymir at the top of the round with your natural 20 on the initiative. What you know is you heard the crate smash, you heard some snuffling, you walked up and tried to intimidate, and you just kind of heard a low growl, and that's where your turn begins.
Okay, and I didn't get any closer than that.
I was assuming you didn't want to get much closer before you did the stomp and yell.
No, I was trying to get close and
Okay.
doing the stop and like I was trying to jump around the boxes as I stomp yell.
Oh, in that
Like,
case.
that way I might see it and
Oh,
jump,
yeah.
stomp yell.
Yeah, you can jump
Oh.
and stomp yell here, and you'll definitely see what appears to be a ragged, kind of scraggly, patches of fur missing wolverine.
Oh, well that's not fun.
It's kind of snuffling around through the food crates, and as you jump around and yell at it, it just kind of looks at you and just kind of hunkers down and starts growling.
Okay. I think with my first action, I'm going to invoke a class ability that I have. Exploit vulnerability. As I am a thaumaturge, I'm going to reach out into and use some esoterica on my person to attempt to create a weakness in this creature. To do so, I will need to make an esoteric lore check against the creature's standard DC of its level.
Yes, and I've got that DC ready for you.
Alright. I'll go over to esoteric lore. I have a +6 to my esoterica. With a 2 on the die is an 8.
An 8. That will be a regular failure.
A regular failure, so I can...
So we'll pause here while Sam's looking that up. For the audience, if you haven't played Pathfinder 2nd Edition before, we do use degrees of success, which are normal failures and normal successes, but if you exceed or fail the DC that you're rolling by more or less than 10, you can get a critical success or a critical failure. Because this is all baked into the system, there's a lot of abilities that have special things that happen on critical successes and critical failures. So since Sam just got a regular failure, he probably has some abilities that still occur.
I do. So if this creature had a weakness already, I would need a success or higher to act it to like proc that with any of my attacks. But since it's a failure or higher, I can do my personal antithesis and make it have a weakness to my attacks equal to my level 2 plus half my level.
So with all this esoterica and personal antithesis, Sam, what is Hymir?
Oh, Hymir's class is the thaumaturge class. So the thaumaturges are a one-handed martial build who have a special implement at their possession. In this case, looking at Hymir, he's got chains wrapped around one of his arms as being his chains are readied as a weapon. And in his left hand, he's holding his chalice, which is now a pale fog has started flowing out of the pale green water in my chalice as I'm holding it up. And I'm dropping in some like little pine needles into the chalice as to create, and like dipping my chains in it quickly to create a personal weakness to myself.
Gotcha. So with that first action done, you've established a personal antithesis against this Wolverine. You've got 2 actions left.
Is it within 10 feet of me?
It is 15 feet away after you jumped around that box.
Of course it is. You're going to make me use another action just to take a 5 step forward?
Yes.
That's so rude.
The Wolverine chose the fighting ground.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 5 step forward. And then with my chain, it's got 10 feet reach. So I'm going to whip my chain at it with an attack roll. Okay. I rolled a 2 again.
Oh my god.
So that's an 8.
Death will happen, folks.
And that is my
Death
turn.
will happen.
And that'll be a miss.
So I used up my 3 actions, 1 to use my personal antithesis, 1 to step forward, and 1 to attack, and that is the end of my turn.
Gotcha. And that rolls to Uver with his fine, keenly tuned dwarvish senses, and he hears someone stomping and yelling, "Hey!" outside.
Uver is going to jolt out of sleep and kind of just like hazy, like what's going on, and lean outside the tent. And I have a direct line of sight to what's happening over there.
I'd say a partial cover line of sight.
Partial cover line of sight. I can see the badger.
Yeah.
Or
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Well, I don't know. It's about 65 feet away. So badger, Wolverine look the same. And he's going to see Hymir's actions, and he's just going to cast Reach, which mechanically, Reach allows me to...
Before you use Reach, if you're using a spell that has 60 feet of range, you are within 60 feet as the crow flies. Okay.
I am within 60 feet as the crow flies?
Yeah, it's counting 65 because there's 2 diagonals, so you would have to spend extra movement if you were to walk there.
Maybe I missed this, but isn't he starting his turn laying down on his bedroll?
Hey, you're right, he is. You're starting laying down. You'll have to spend an action to stand from prone.
And then leave the tent.
Yeah.
I can lean out, like pull the flap back.
Yeah, if you didn't leave out, if you just like leaned around the corner, you could do that without spending an action. Yeah, you're still within 60 feet right there. Exactly 60 feet.
Perfect. In which case, I will not be casting Reach. I will cast the spell Daze for 2 actions. Range of 60 feet, targets 1 creature. The saving throw is Will. You cloud the target's mind and daze it with a mental jolt. The jolt deals mental damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifier, 4 for me. The target must attempt a basic will save. If the target critically fails the save, it is also stunned 1. And the save it has to beat is 17.
The Wolverine fails.
Yes. Takes 4 damage.
All right.
Nice.
As this mental pain just kind of starts twinging at the sides of its little Wolverine brain, it kind of growls. Alward, your turn.
Oh, we don't get to learn what he is?
Oh, we should ask. You're leaning out of this tent and casting spells. What, my friend, are you?
I am a dwarvish wizard.
Indeed.
That's totally wizard.
Oh, God.
All right, Alward. You've heard someone stomping and shouting. You've heard like a lash of a chain hitting the ground, and maybe Uver just like muttering some arcane incantations from the other side of the camp.
Alward is going to bolt up and be like, "Morning already?"
Sorry, counting actions. One action
Oh,
to
I'm
bolt
not
up.
standing up.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like
Just
sitting up out of
Yeah,
bed.
sitting
Morning
is a
already?
free action.
And then I'm going to cast Unseen Servant. And my Unseen Servant, because I'm not 100% sure what's happening right now, is going to go to my backpack, which is I'm assuming within reach. I would cast it within reach of that. And it's going to grab my coffee making kit and then move 30 feet outside towards the fire.
Because you thought it was morning.
Yeah.
All right.
He should have gotten later. The initiative.
Priorities.
So as all of this chaos is breaking out, there's just this like set of coffee making accoutrement that's just floating through the air towards the fire. And it is now Zephyr's turn.
So, am I prone?
Yes.
Okay, so we're all... so I'm going to be getting up, and I guess the only thing that I can do at this point would be to... you hear the tent ruffling, but I'm going to be using Slink to move 30 feet as long as I am able to sneak in the darkness.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
Would you like me to roll sneak?
It's actually a secret check in the system, so you don't know how good your sneakage is.
Okay, well, I'm a +6.
It has been rolled.
So I'm going to sneak as fast as I can, at least 30 feet closer. I'm going to say to where I have the closest ability, but still somewhat hidden, if I can. How far is it from the corner of the blue tent directly up?
Let's see. So this collection of 3 blue tents that are like directly south of the Wolverine. Are you talking about the furthest blue tent?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I have at least some cover.
From there, it would be 50 feet if you were to try and kind of hide around the corner of that tent.
I think I could do that.
Okay.
I will hide behind that tent if I can make it.
It would take 2 actions to get over there. Well,
So I have
Yeah,
my
2
stand up
actions.
and then 2 movements.
Mhm.
Yep, then I'll do that.
okay. So Zephyr wakes up, stands up, and then just kind of like a shadow slips out of his tent, moves between the tents, and just kind of tucks around behind one. He hasn't used any class abilities yet. Well, technically one.
Nah.
Message, technically, but it's easy to access.
I mean,
so-
that's a spell. That's cantrip, but...
All right, so that's the end of Zephyr's turn, and now it is the Wolverine's turn.
Wolverines.
Bite his leg.
Hugh Jackman?
Oh, we'd be dead.
Silver claws appear from his palms.
It's going to leap forward and attempt to bite Hymir.
No.
Okay, it can. He said no.
You heard him,
He
Jordy.
did say no. Typically,
Consent.
when Sam says no, I roll poorly.
I'm going to laugh. It's a crit.
It is a 20 total.
That's a hit total.
Okay, good. Just a hit.
And for damage, he deals 5 piercing damage as he bites into your leg.
Ouch. For perspective's sake, I have a total of 17 hit points, so that brought me down to 12, taking 5.
Don't worry. We'll help you.
Maybe.
And with his last action, he's going to claw at you.
Okay, now you're going to die.
Don't say that.
With a 10.
That's a miss.
Yay.
For also another thing, my for reference, my armor class, what he's trying to hit with his roll, is an 18.
So the Wolverine almost critically failed.
Which would have no effect in this case. There's
Yeah.
no special critical fail on my class or character currently.
Neros, nothing sufficiently noisy, I think, has happened at this point. Like, there's a bit of a scrape going on the other side, but I would imagine Neros has slept through worse.
Yep. You imagine correct.
Would you like to attempt another perception check to wake up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
how this
Wolverine
goes.
would probably make noise
Yeah.
too.
And
It's
you
making
probably
noise, just not
screamed.
enough for an auto success.
Right, yeah.
That's
if
not a
anything,
D20.
my next turn will probably wake her up.
Yeah, if you guys are all like, why hasn't she come out yet?
That's better.
I summoned my unseen servant specifically to
Is it
start heading that way.
Still with the -4 since she is technically still asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 16.
Oh, that's enough. So Neros is now awake here at the end of her turn, just like, what is happening out there?
Woohoo!
All right, rolls back around to the top of the round with Hymir.
All right. Let's see. Double checking an ability. With my chalice, I'm going to bring it up and take a sip from it. And doing that with one action will grant me 2 temporary... No, yes. So taking a sip from my chalice will grant me 2 temporary hit points. And then I will attack from there with my chain. Well, I want to attack, or I could try and trip it with my chain. And tripping it would make it... I'm going to attempt to trip first.
Okay.
So my weapon has the trip trait, so I can just use my attack to attempt to trip it with my weapon.
It'll still be an athletics check. You'll be able to add any item bonuses that are attached to your weapon, though.
And adds the weapon's item bonus to attacks.
So,
to
like, if
the
you have-
athletics check. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
My
like if it
athletics
was a
is the
plus
same.
one.
So
Okay.
it's still a +6. 16 to trip.
That's a success.
Ah, lovely.
So you wrap that chain around the Wolverine's legs and just pull it out from under it. It slams onto the ground, and there's kind of just like it like winces in pain as like some old wounds have like slammed into the the rocky dirt.
Okay. And then I'm going to swing down again with my chain to try and hit it this time. Because Trip has the attack trait, this strike is going to be my second attack of the turn, so I'm going to take a -5 to my attack. But the total is now 15 against flat-footed prone.
Because the Wolverine is flat-footed from being prone, that is a hit.
Awesome. So, because it has a weakness to me, it's going to take an additional point of damage. So the chain as it stands does 1d4 damage. My strength modifier is +3, so I do 3 extra damage. Because I have one hand free for my implement, I just do an additional 2 damage for being a thaumaturge. And then because it has a weakness, it'll proc the weakness of 2. So I rolled a 4 on the die, so that's 4 plus the 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9, and then it also triggers the weakness, so that would be a total of 11.
Nice, max damage.
So strong.
But I guess it'd be 9, and then you'll just deal with the weakness. Do you want me to read off, like, add the weakness to the total damage, or just give you the number without the weakness?
If you'd give me your total damage and then just say with weakness, if you've got the weakness set up, that way I don't have to keep track of which monsters are weak.
Alrighty, that's good. So that is the end of my turn.
All right, so you rip the chain out from under that Wolverine. It slams into the ground. In that same motion, you just bring it careening back down, and it just lashes across its face, and it just does this huge just crack across its face, and like seems to like rip some of the more like matted, like unhealthy fur off, and it's not looking good. That was a heavy blow. Uver.
Quick mechanical question. Does it have any cover to me right now?
Partial cover.
Partial cover?
So if you just need line of effect, you're good. But if you're making any attack rolls, it is going to have a bonus to its AC.
Right. In that case, Uver is going to, after following up with Daze, he is going to cast the Reach spell, and he is going to cast Electric Arc, as with his other hand, a bolt of lightning just flies out straight to the Wolverine, and it needs to make a reflex save.
Gotcha.
So Electric Arc. An arc of lightning leaps from one target to another. I deal electric damage equal to 1d4 plus my spellcasting ability modifier, so a minimum of 5 damage. If they don't pass a basic reflex save.
What's your DC again?
17.
He critically failed.
Nice.
Okay.
So he'll take double damage.
I gotta roll that d4. Don't fail me now, dice. 14 damage total. I rolled a 3 on the dice, plus 4, which is 7, times 2,
Nice.
14.
So as that sparking energy comes arcing out of your hand and just like sizzles around past the crate, past Hymir, it zaps into the Wolverine's body, and it just like snarls, shakes, and falls still. And we are out of initiative order.
I must say, that is not the way I wanted to be waken up this morning.
Nero's probably hears some stuff. She like opens the flap of her tent. It's like, what, miss? What's going on?
Just a scavenger, that's all.
So when it all ends, Alward finally goes out of his tent. And he's like, "What? It's not more. Who? Why are we awake?"
There was a scavenger, a Wolverine. We took care of it.
You hear out of the darkness.
Go back to sleep.
Okay.
That's disturbing. Don't ever do that again.
Care of.
The coffee set just floats back into my tent.
Hymir, since you're the one closest to the Wolverine, do you want to roll a nature or other relevant check to learn some information about this thing?
May as well. Let me kind of examine it. See if it's just scavenging like I said it was, or if it was here doing something else. Or what it got into, I guess, as well.
Sounds like it has mange.
Yeah, it's a
Poor
fair
baby.
Bit me, I don't want it to have a disease.
I feel bad.
Or it
Same.
clawed me. Did it bite me?
It bit and then
Yeah, I
failed
don't
to
like
claw.
that. All right. So nature.
Mhm.
I have a +4 to my nature skill.
Rabies.
And that was a cocked die right between a 20 and a 2. So I'm going to reroll that. And I get an 8, so a total of 12.
Yeah, there was definitely something wrong with it, but what exactly? You're not sure. Wasn't healthy.
Yeah. Maybe you're just thinking, like, he just kind of says out loud but quietly, like, is anyone here a doctor? Like, he's
Here
kind of
from
looking
the
like he's
darkness.
asking someone.
I could be.
You're not.
Plague doctor, maybe.
You're right. Good night.
I think over my travels and into my lifetime, I have learned a little bit. I can take a look at you.
Sure. Since you helped me out here, and I'll also roll medicine to take a look, if I can.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys can go ahead and roll medicine to kind of examine the situation and the wound. Go ahead and take a +2 bonus because you can, like, look at the symptoms on the wolverine at the same time and see, like, if there's any relevant information there.
You now have mange.
That would be
Okay, so Hymir rolled a 17 on his medicine check.
And I rolled a 25.
Stop it.
Can I have your dice?
Can I have your luck?
Seriously,
I
you
have a-
can't be this person against me.
I have a +5 to my medicine. Okay.
You rolled a natural
So you rolled a natty
20?
I
20?
rolled an 18.
Then how did you get a 25?
+2 circumstance bonus.
Oh, right.
Oh.
So what's your normal?
Math.
What's your normal medicine bonus?
+5.
Oh, mine's 4.
Yeah.
So it was
Mine's
close.
0.
Mine's also 5.
I'm definitely not a doctor.
So,
With the two of you working together, you have determined it was rabies. But you do have the supplies in the wagon and the cart and everything to go ahead and, like, treat the wound and be confident that there's not going to be any issues.
that is a near thing. I am glad we were able to diagnose what was happening.
Yes, I've seen others succumb to wounds like that, and I'd rather not.
Well, that would be very detrimental to our party, I am sure, if you did. I do not think you would be able to fulfill your side of the contract that everybody thinks is so very important. I don't understand that. But
Let's
anyway,
get this taken care of now.
So can we go back to bed, or are we needed, or...
Go back to sleep.
I don't like that. Please stop.
Just it.
Just
it
so you
looks,
know, all of this is messaging. I'm
I
casting
figured. You're
message.
behind the
Kinda
tent, just pointing.
Volden. It was just one scavenger. It's fine.
Oh.
Go to sleep.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my tent now.
it is almost time for
All
your
right, where's
watch to
that
be done.
stuff? He's gonna start rummaging for the medicine.
So yeah, with your composite medicine checks, it's of little difficulty for you guys to get that properly treated. You have few concerns.
Was it just food that it was?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was just digging into a crate of food and just kind of rummaging through it. You're actually able to salvage most of it because you acted immediately.
Fair enough. All right. So with this taken care of and my wound saw to pretty quickly, I'm gonna. I assume we told Neros not to go back to bed because it's time for her watch.
She's still just, her head's just peeking out the tent. Just
I
like,
wave
"What's
you
going-"
over.
Okay. She like stumbles out of her tent toward, what's his face? Hymir.
All right. It's time for your watch.
Okay, cool.
Good
Don't-
night, Nero.
I'm done telling people
Alright,
to go to sleep.
Are you sure you're okay over there?
Gone to sleep.
Don't
yourself.
cause too much trouble.
I mean, I try not
But
to.
if you do, you can do it to Sithri.
Message received.
Oh, before I forget, Sam and Sven, would you each roll 1d8?
Oh, that's weird. I don't want it.
That's suspicious.
4.
Be suspicious.
6.
Hey, you're fully healed.
Ah, wunderbar.
Because treat wounds does 2d8, and you guys were working together.
You know, I could also drink my chalice and heal the full instead of sipping from it.
Well, you don't need to now.
Fair.
Chug,
All
chug.
right. So Hymir heads back to bed, his wounds treated and feeling a bit better. Uver goes back to bed, leaving Neros awake, alone, and unsupervised.
I don't have anything.
You don't want to like light a tent on fire.
No, it's too conspicuous.
Throw the dead badger body in her tent.
It's a wolverine.
Whatever.
We've established this Hugh Jackman.
It's a huge difference.
Don't throw a dead Hugh Jackman in her tent.
Ooh, actually, no, never mind. It's too much.
It's never too much.
It is.
Do it.
No. Do you want to know what I was thinking?
Yeah.
No.
Cutting off the wolverine tail and sneaking over to Cithri's tent and like putting it like next to her head.
I suggested to throw the whole corpse in her tent, and just the tail is too much.
Yeah, because I like animals.
Oh, fair.
It's decimating a corpse, man.
It's already dead. I mean,
Are you a vegan in game?
you can
No, not even out of game.
you can harvest the meats from it.
And then throw the meat.
The rabid meat.
The rabid meat.
I forgot that he had rabies.
I don't want to feed rabid meat to people.
But how would
if
we
you
know?
boil it, doesn't it get rid of all the
I
bad stuff?
don't want to
Is
risk
that how
that.
science works?
Why don't you roll a medicine check?
Anyway,
If it's ash, does it
Google
really
that.
carry anything
A
at that
19
point?
on the die. So.
No, that doesn't.
Oh, okay.
If it's char.
I burned the body.
I burned the body.
And then we eat it. We eat the ashes.
Ew.
It's a good protein shake.
No.
Blood of our enemies, ash of our enemies. Same thing, right?
Anyway,
All right, so Neros sits around the fire trying to think of good pranks. She thinks of some stuff that maybe goes a bit too far, and the morning dawns before she really comes up with anything really good.
Do we get our full hours of rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Wouldn't everyone be awake during her shift?
No,
Just 8
they're
hours
lazy.
would have passed.
They're sleeping in.
Nice.
need my
However,
rest.
Neros, about halfway through your shift, you're kind of watching, and then you just notice like there's a kettle steaming on the fire, and then like this kind of cup just floats up next to it and starts pouring steaming water into it.
she's gonna poke it.
The cup?
Sure.
Okay, when you poke the cup, Outward walks out of his tent, stretches, and then a mage hand goes over and grabs it, and then brings it to him. And he doesn't touch the cup. The mage hand just brings it to his mouth, and he sips on it and walks up to the fire and sits down.
Talk about stick up your butt.
Good morning.
Good morning. Would you like some?
Sure.
Pours a cup. A mage hand hands it to you.
She like cautiously takes it. Why don't you use your own hands?
I've been able to do this since I was a kid, so it just feels more natural to me.
All right.
My mom really hates it, honestly.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Just use your hands.
No. These are my hands.
Your physical hands are on your body.
I can use them for other things while they're doing this for me. Like writing, and I pull out a journal. Start dictating.
All right. Teach their own.
You hear a rustle, and the tent behind you opens, but I say nothing and just walk to the fire.
I thought for a second you were going to say you hear Russell, and suddenly the tent gets up and walks over to the fire.
Can I do that? Can I do that in the show?
Gets up. Would you like some coffee? I have cream and sugar.
No.
Okay. You didn't do anything last night, did you?
If I did, you'll never know.
I mean, I know about the other thing.
Yeah, let's not discuss that.
Okay.
And I'd appreciate you not telling anyone.
I do need to remind you that she is technically your superior.
Yeah, I know. You told me that yesterday.
Okay.
Thank you.
I thought I'd bring that back up.
I know. For everyone listening at home, Sven just did a very dramatic good morning stretch.
Uver kind of just does like a little old man wobble real quick while getting out of the tent. Just kind of does a big stretch and I am not as young as I used to be. Interrupting a full night's sleep is difficult. Oh my, It is a beautiful morning, though. As he kind of just comes up to the fire and just sits down, just putting out his hands and just... it is a good morning.
A coffee mug just floats in front of you.
Oh, thank you, my friend. That is... Oh, it smells delicious.
It's from Cheliax.
Is it now? It has been such a long time.
I pull out a water skin and just start sipping water. I don't care about coffee.
I guess everyone from one of the Hymir's tent will hear him yell, "Enough!" And then just kind of start shuffling, kind of angrily, and getting out of the tent and walking over to the fire.
Good morning. How are you this morning? How is the bite? Is it healing up nicely?
It's
is it
fine.
sore? It is okay.
It's fine.
It is fine.
Yes.
Okay.
As a side thing, please stop staring at me when you're talking to Hymir. It makes me uncomfortable.
I'll take over.
Thank you. Would you like some coffee?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. Again, just a coffee mug floats in front of
He
you.
just grabs it, starts drinking.
It is, by the way, very good coffee.
I'd like to address the elephant in the room. Did you bring someone along? I heard you yelling.
No.
Are you all right?
Yes.
Maybe he had a bad dream.
Unlikely. I wasn't there.
What? He's
He turned back to
clearly-
the fire.
Okay. So what happened with the badger?
There was a wolverine.
I didn't see it. I was.
It tried to eat some food.
Oh.
We killed it.
It
It had rabies.
Oh.
As he said, it is slightly diseased.
Is it still over there, by the way?
I don't know if you could be slightly diseased.
I didn't do anything with the
I'd
body.
leave that up to the three who are like awake and interacting with it.
I didn't do anything to the body.
I never left my tent. Well, actually, I
Okay,
did.
so it's still over there.
Technically didn't interact with it.
Quite disgusting, to be honest. It's still
We should
over.
probably
why don't
do
you-
something with it.
As you're discussing that, you just hear like a yell from over by the wagon, and Sophie Skill is just like, "What is this doing here?"
Or, yeah,
Zephyr, why don't you take care of it?
probably shouldn't have left it near the food. I will go take care of it.
I mean, I guess I could have done that during my watch, but well.
I like imagining like Hymir like puts all of the untouched food back in the crate, puts the lid back on, sets it up, and just kind of like kicks like the apples it was chewing on over towards the corpse and just walks away.
I'm gonna try to dispose of it, and I don't know. How would I dispose of it? Do we have any like tools or anything in the caravan?
Fire.
You do have ample access to fire.
I could assist you if you need be.
I am actually going to reach down and what's my thing called? Oh yes, produce flame.
Next to the wagon?
It's gonna
Send
be a
all of our
small
provisions on
flame,
fire.
okay? It's not like I'm gonna destroy everything.
Sorry, are you moving the Wolverine anywhere, or are you just burning it next to the wagon?
Well, it should be controlled, shouldn't it?
Just checking.
Just put it in the campfire.
Okay, do we have any tools as I'm going to back up to that? Do we have any tools like a shovel or a wagon?
Oh yeah,
Or
you've
like
got
a-
basic tools and
or like
stuff.
a
Like I mean, you're
wheelbarrows.
heading to a mine. You've got
Okay.
tools to move.
We
Then
have
I'm gonna-
so many whale barrels.
Whale barrel.
Whale barrels.
With a wheelbarrow.
all of them full of whales.
Then they're whale
Why do we have
bearers.
that many whales?
This is a weird time to bring this up. We're all giants. I know that's-
A 4-foot giant. I'm gonna pick up the badger with a shovel and
Wolverine.
with a
Angry
shovel.
badger.
I forgot what it was, and I'm going to move it a significant distance, probably about 10, 20 feet away, and then I'm going to produce flame on it. Just kind of burn it and try to keep it contained. Nothing too crazy.
Okay. So yeah, at that distance away, it's perfectly safe. Like the fire's not really going to spread. There's still some snow from the snow that collected overnight, so like there's no danger of fire spreading or anything. It doesn't make the best of smells. You know, people kind of wake up and, oh, what's that smell? And then Bilgo just wakes up and he's like, morning in the countryside.
It should smell like cooked meat, but
Was
if anything.
Membilgo the one that was like rude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the one reading his book?
Who's the rude one?
I thought.
Yes. Both.
He was telling me about all these books that he has written, and I should buy them, but luckily he said they are also in the library, so I think I will probably take a look at them, but...
I have a copy of one if you'd like to borrow it.
truly?
Yes.
Also-
I hand you a copy of one of his books.
Oh, thank you.
It says Arn Architecture, Ben Bilgo's edition.
That's for the best. There aren't any libraries around here.
I immediately, or Uver immediately opens up the book and just starts reading voraciously.
I yell from a distance.
We should probably get a move on. This is going to attract some other predators.
Well,
Go ahead.
not everybody's up yet.
Well, get them up.
That's not our job.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Has Sithri woken up yet?
I imagine she probably would have woken up when the smell of the burning wolverine started permeating the air.
Has she said anything?
She is just now exiting her tent.
She
Hasn't
say-
said anything yet.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
She actually doesn't seem to notice the smell. At least she's not giving off the appearance that she does.
Interesting.
She likes that fresh morning air, too.
The smell of burning corpses.
It's just like, oh.
As Uver is sitting there, he comes across a particular passage that he's a little confused about, and he starts motioning over to him, and Bill goes like, do you think you can explain this particular piece of passage? I don't understand how you differentiate between this series of architecture versus this series of architecture, and you made this comparison to that civilization. Could you explain, please?
Membilgo just looks up from his writing and just goes, read it again and take better notes. Goes back to his book.
Membilvo, do you want a cup of coffee?
I hate coffee.
That's okay. What's the rude one's name again? I forgot. Sefri? Saphir?
I
Sithri?
didn't hear the beginning
Sithri?
of that.
The high horse one.
Sithri.
Sethri.
Like evil Jedi Sithri.
Sithri. When Sithri works, I offer her a cup of coffee as well.
She accepts it.
Well, I'm out of mugs, but I still have one more cup left. If anybody wants a refill.
Uver just holds out his cup as he's turning pages.
A hand just...
Thank you.
Before too long, the rest of the group has woken up, and people start making moves to start packing up and get ready to go.
What is it, Rika?
Rika.
When he's around, Hymir's gonna be like, how much longer should the trek take?
It should take us maybe till noon.
All right.
He's just kind of eyeing you.
And I kind of look at him for a minute, and then just kind of go back to what I was doing.
Watching you.
I can tell. You're not a very quiet looker.
But you're saying I'm a looker.
I'm sorry, Hymir, how do you hear eyes?
It's an expression.
I've never heard... I speak about 6 to 20 languages, depending. I have never heard that expression.
He looks at me, and he makes a lot of noise, and addresses the fact that he's looking at me. Therefore, he is not a quiet looker.
I look at Rika, looking at Hymir, and then look back at Rika, and he's not making any sound. I'm like, I don't think...
He just said he was looking at me.
I mean, I suppose, but his was an expression.
Rika's just like, I'll try to look quieter in the future. Backs up a little bit and just stares at you.
Zephyr returns, kind of roughing his hands together just to remove the burning hands. I don't know.
Your hands are made of.
Dismiss
Your
the
hands have
spell.
some charcoal on it.
And he looks over at, Alward, not Howard.
Yeah, not Howard.
And he goes,
Do you have any more of that coffee? I think I could use some after that.
I thought, I mean, I can make an, and I snap my hand, and the unseen servant starts making more coffee.
It's not any of that instant stuff, is it?
No, it's specifically pressure. It's kind of so.
Yeah, I
you
don't
put
really care.
Oh,
I just didn't want instant.
okay.
At this point, you just hear a ploop as Uver closes the book in front of him and says,
That's a weird book.
It's made out of very wet paper.
Why is that book so wet?
"It was so beautiful." Uver was crying while he was reading.
It was
a
so
lot of
hard. It
tears.
gave him a migraine.
Are you dehydrated?
That's what the coffee's for.
Coffee dehydrates you.
He closes the book
With a book closing sound.
with a book closing sound. And he says, "Yeah, that was a very interesting read. I'm going to have to compare notes. I do not think I completely agree with all the analogies and whatnot. I think that he got this particular," and he's saying this as he hands this, just in general, hands this to you, but he's like lost in thought.
So, as you try to hand that to me, both of my mage hands are busy trying to brew this coffee with my unseen servant, so I just kind of stare at it for like 5 minutes.
Hymir just grabs it and hands it over.
Just use your hands.
I just stare at it.
I throw it at you.
I try to catch it.
"What's your AC?"
Keyword try.
So it just
1
hits
point
you
of
on the
bludgeoning
head.
damage.
Tunk.
You get slashing paper.
Paper
Rude.
cuts.
But they're too wet to slash.
Splash.
I
You
take
take
one
splash
water
damage.
Bloop. I give you a cup of coffee. That was my cup. I'm sorry. It's clean, I promise.
He takes a sip.
As all of this is happening, Uver is still talking, but it's kind of starting to trail off as it gets quieter and quieter. Not so much that he notices people aren't listening, but so much as that he's getting deeper and deeper into what he's thinking about. and he pulls out a book from his satchel and a quill and a little bit of ink and starts writing, mumbling and then writing, and then slowly trails off as he's just writing.
Are you sure he's not with the scholars?
So my character notices you're mumbling and stuff, and like I just sort of start scooching closer and like read your notes, and I start mumbling along with you, correcting your notes. One of my personality traits is mumbles to himself.
How long can a message be? Because is there a limit to message?
Yeah, there is.
I feel like it's a certain amount of
Shouldn't
words.
you
but
know that?
It's like
It wasn't
10, it's 10 or
on-
less.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's 10 or less words, something like that.
Since it's a cantrip, though, you can theoretically just constantly cast
Right,
it.
so it doesn't really matter.
I will constantly be sending a message, muttering in his ear the same mumblings because I can hear him.
So as you start doing that, you'll just notice every now and again he'll just wave like by his ear, like yes, and just like constantly half ignoring you, but like you're right there,
Just trying to get
just
it.
waving you away.
I am just every once in a while I'm just gonna stop and kind of just chuckle to myself with a little smile. Just,
Well, seeing everybody doing what they're doing, Hymir's gonna just get up. He's gonna put on all of his armor and stuff. Including, he's got like a. Well, anyway, he puts on all of his armor, the regalia, and he's gonna go out and practice for a bit, like with his chain, and do some exercises and such.
As I'm assisting him, like mumbling and everything, one of my mage hands go away, and I'm gonna cast Time Sense. So I get to know exactly what time it is, and the next thing doesn't matter, but I would get a bonus for the next hour of like a specific thing that's time sensitive.
Of course you would time.
I like time.
It is 8:13 and half a minute.
It is down to the second, so thank you.
Yeah, 8:13:32. And what else did you get to know from that?
That's the rest is I get a +1 circumstance bonus to something that I were to do.
Okay. I knew there were a couple of writers if you had certain proficiencies and stuff.
No, not that. And then upon hearing him leave, I'm like, we leave, I think, in about 2 hours.
Yep.
And I go back to mumbling over his shoulder to help him with the notes.
And Zephyr, it does smell like 8:13.
It does smell like
8:13. Wait, I thought it was 8:30. Wait, 8:13:32.
Yes.
34.
36.
39.
42.
You're off by half a second.
My bad.
Imprecise time smell sense.
I was caught off guard from the badger.
Wolverine.
Oh, you wrote the word Wolverine. You gotta scratch that out.
So the group kind of does their morning preparations, exercise, looks through their books, stuff like that. And you set out the journey from the campsite to Copperburget. You camped about halfway along the journey. So it is roundabouts noon, getting on towards 1 in the afternoon as you crest over the top of the hill and you begin approaching the small mining town of Copperburget. It's a town primarily populated by dwarves and was built up around the copper mine, giving it the name, of course, Copperburget. This copper mine has a brief but interesting history of being owned by the Linorm King who rules over the area you're in, Southmore. But then, he died and left it to his son, who became the Linorm King of the next kingdom up north. So the mine in Southmore belongs to a king who lives elsewhere.
Fair.
It's a poorish town, but the people who are there are very, rugged, hardworking, optimistic folks. So they don't really mind, that it's, put together houses. They work. Nothing fancy, but they don't need fancy. So as you come over the hill and you see the path winding down towards you into Copperburget, you see up ahead, there's the entrance to the mine, but there's also, various places of business, inns, taverns in the town. Was there anything you guys wanted to do in the town before you head through? The rest of the party, they're good to go if you're ready to head into the mine.
Hymir's ready to go.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that I wanted to make note of is that I am keeping my unseen servant sustained.
All right.
I do take note of the cheery Martin, but I just keep going. I'll return after we're done with this.
The cheery Martin.
Uver has sought out Salazar and is still keeping up a conversation.
Taking note of the cheery Martin, you mean just kind of taking a look at it as you go by?
At it, just
looking up at that inn as you walk by.
Good
down
memories.
The road. Yeah, nice place. It's a nice looking establishment.
I will come back when we're done.
Nice.
If we're done.
Oh, I will come back.
One way or another, I will sleep in that inn.
He comes back as a poltergeist. We're hired to get rid of him.
I'm just trying to sleep. Let me sleep.
And as you all pass through the town and head up the small winding trail towards Copperburget itself, we'll end this episode here.
Woo!
For this episode, I'm thinking Hymir or Sam for a hero point for taking the hit and taking the Wolverine head on.
Taking him down.
Also for some team player choices of trying to wake everybody up instead of just I'll take care of this.
Yeah, being the only marshal in this party, I do not want to be alone.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm game.
All right, Sam. And what does the new hero point card you've acquired do?
So the hero point I grabbed was called Reverse Strike. I can play it after I fail an attack roll, and it makes my attack roll a success.
Nice.
This is, could come in real handy clutch at times, especially
negatives?
with all. No, Especially with all my thaumaturge abilities and damage modifiers. Become very useful. Very
Nice.
useful. Well, thank you for this. It was very nice, very kind. I'm going to go hand out presents now.
All right, and we'll see you all in the next episode.
Woo!
This has been an Atomic Broadcasting production. Pathfinder, Galarian, and the Lost Omens world setting are copyright of Paizo. More information at paizo.com. Music in the show is from Monument Studios' collection, as well as assorted artists, with some original tracks composed by Jordy Hake. More details in the description. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to share with a friend, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next time.